Hello and welcome to TVC News this hour. Ahead of Nigeria's participation in the 2024 United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP29, in November, the federal government has announced the implementation of cost-cutting measures that will ensure that the country saves at least 10 billion naira. Nigeria's special envoy on climate change and special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ajurin Gilale, stated this in Abuja. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde reports.
President Bola Tinubu takes the court on the cost of governance a notch higher as he continues to tighten the noose on wasteful government spending. The president's spokesman says, unlike the last climate change summit in Dubai that caused public outcry, there is a deliberate and meticulous effort to draw down costs.
An exercise has been concluded detailing exactly what the expenditure profile was of COP28 with a view to ensuring that we implement measures that would ensure that whatever is spent ahead of COP29 has a function that will lead to the economic empowerment of our people and the economic development of our nation.
Ajurin Gilale, in his capacity as special envoy on climate change, insists this year's climate summit will cost the country 10 billion naira less than previous expenses.
The nearly $500,000 showcase pavilion that was purchased for last year's COP28 will no longer be an item of expenditure in COP29. In addition, the Delegates office that we will be using to conduct bilateral meetings and other meetings that otherwise would have been conducted in the showcase pavilion, we will be conducting in the Delegates office that will cost less than 10% of the cost of the showcase pavilion.
There are also plans to ensure transparency and accountability through a portal that will give Nigerians access to real-time details of government spendings at COP29.
This will also ensure that anyone who is attending this conference has an economic imperative to be at that conference, engaging with companies, multilateral partners and stakeholders who will attract finance and opportunity into the country for the benefit of our people.
This cut on the cost of governance seems to be a course President Bola Tinubu has charted for his administration. Nigerians are also ready to walk this road with the government as they look out for transparency and accountability all the way. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
And civil servants have been cautioned against evading procurement processes to enrich themselves. Anti-graft agencies gave the warning at a two-day integrity innovation lab for public servants to support the development of the culture of integrity in government organizations. Helena Samide Akins reports.
Public trust in the government is alarmingly low, with only 27% of Nigerians expressing confidence in their governmental institutions. For this administration to improve governance on effective service delivery, as initiated in its 8-point priority areas of the Renewed Hope agenda, it must seek to reinforce the ideas of accountability in public service delivery. Speakers at this event from anti-graft agencies expressed concerns over the manner at which some public officers evade procurement processes for their personal gains. They referred the participants to several sessions of the Establishment Acts and the punitive measures recommended for anyone found to have erred and corruptly enriched themselves through the procurement processes.
If you feel detached from the policy, you keep finding ways to beat it. That is why, for instance, in SCUMO, Special Control Unit Against Money Laundering, indeed, the typologies keeps on evolving.
And as servants, we are obligated not only to be accountable, but also to display a high level of integrity in the management of public resources under our care.
For the organizers, they explained that the workshop was organized essentially to close the huge trust and confidence gap between public servants and Nigerians.
Pride of the nation is built on integrity and accountability through conversations that we can have here, and the change we want to see in our society will be built upon all of us that have found this found out time worthy to come into this hall to have this conversation.
We see this work as complementing what is being done in our judicial system. Our judicial system should hold people who are accused accountable, and those who have been found guilty should face the law. Everyone keep their own corner clean. And if every one of us keep our own corners clean, probably all the corners in this country will be clean.
Nigeria faces a significant accountability crisis as highlighted by various key statistics. In the 2023 Corruption Perception Index, Nigeria ranks 154th out of 180 countries indicating pervasive corruption. Helen Osamede Ekins, TVC News, Abuja.
Nation's capital, the Director General of the National Information Development Agency, Kashifu Inoa, says the adoption of the Internet Protocol version 6 will enable the tracing of IP addresses to its unique user, unlike the IPv4 version. Mr. Inoa said these are the IPv6 Digital Summit held in Abuja. Celestina Area reports.
Internet Protocol version 6 is the next generation Internet Protocol standard intended to replace IPv4, the protocol many internet services still use today. IPv6 is a well-established protocol that enables network to connect many devices and expand their networks without relying on additional resources. In Nigeria, there are over 3 million IP addresses, with over 200 Nigerians using one IP address. This is due to the usage of IPv4, which allows many devices connected to one IP address. The adoption of IPv6 is important as it will help address cybercrime by ensuring every device is uniquely identified. Discussions at this summit will center on the implementation of the IPv6, challenges, opportunities, and how it can help improve e-governance and build more resilient network.
And this will help us to address cybercrime in Nigeria when every device is uniquely identified on the internet. It will be difficult for anybody to commit a crime because you can trace back to the owner.
So it's about 1.6 million IPv6 users, and this is why we have this meeting. How to move at least in the next couple of years to 50%, which is the average worldwide.
Because if 50% of what we set out to do is achieved in the next 2 to 3 years, our country will become extremely vulnerable as much as we become extremely powerful. Many more people will be connected. Many more of our services will be connected, which means we'll be more vulnerable. And this is why summits like these are extremely important. As we plan and brainstorm and invest in our future, we must also focus on protecting our society.
There was a presentation of a white paper on the IPv6 that will guide its adoption from 1%, currently recorded by Nigeria, to 100%. Nigeria can build resilience and the use of internet by reviewing some of its regulations and policies that discourage internet service providers from investing in its internet infrastructure to ensure better connectivity. Celestina Area, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, Ogun State has joined the League of Large-Scale Rice-Producing States in the country. This follows the flag-off of the harvest of 200 hectares farmland at Magburo Rice Farm in Obafemi Owode local government area of the state. Senior reporter Kazimolowe reports.
In order to promote agriculture, achieve economic growth and development, and to enhance food security, Ogun State government, through its economic transformation project supported by the World Bank, established the rice farm in the state. Speaking during the harvest of the 200 hectares rice farm, Governor Dapo Abiodun said Ogun State is not only joining states like Lagos, Kebbi and Bayelsa in producing locally grown rice in large quantity, but also fostering economic development, creating jobs and improving livelihoods within the communities.
This project is a testament to our unwavering commitment to advancing agriculture in Ogun State. By supporting this initiative, we're not only enhancing rice production, but also promoting modern mechanization services, covering everything from land preparation and mechanized planting of this 3-month rice to harvesting.
Governor Abiodun said the farm with a 7 metric ton yield per hectare could translate to 1,400 metric tons for 200 hectares of mid-rice with an efficiency yield of about 70%, which could also translate to about 20,000 bags of mid-rice per cycle.
If 200 hectares gives us 1 billion, 2,000 hectares will give us 10 billion. It means that in a 12-month period, we will earn how much? No, that will be 30 billion. So in just this area alone, upscaling to 2,000 hectares are just over 30 billion revenue.
The governor added that the project is in line with President Bola Tinubu administration's resolve to eradicate poverty and hunger by providing affordable food for Nigerians, adding that the project, apart from increasing rice production, will also address animal husbandry. Other speakers at the program emphasized that the state is blessed with adequate manpower and natural resources. They say the project will provide employment and raw materials for industries. Kazim Olowe, TVC News, Magboro.
And stay with us here on TVC. Thanks for staying with us here on TVC News. Now, the fuel queues still persist in some parts of Lagos State, with many motorists spending hours to get the product. Senior correspondent Sarah Ayeko is standing live for updates on the situation. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us on TVC News this time. It's been harrowing effect for Nigerians, especially drivers and commuters, who have been seeking to get fuel from different filling stations with difficulties. Bring us up to speed with the latest information.
So let me just quickly tell you some of the effects this fuel scarcity has on motorists, particularly commuters and those using the major highways and roads across Lagos, because you know Lagos is the commercial center of Nigeria. So that's like a typical example of the effect of the queues that we see at filling stations. Not a lot of filling stations are open, just a few of them are open, and at these few filling stations you find these long queues, very evident, conspicuous for anybody to see. So you see that there's a tailback of traffic. One of the vehicles there has just stopped, having a technical issue. So that's going to cause like a traffic along Bega area. So I'm on Bega area, just where you have two NNPC filling stations. One of the NNPC filling stations is not open, it's closed. There is no supply of petrol, but this one that is open, so motorists have been trooping in since morning because it's just one of the few filling stations open around this area, and where you get the product at the standard price, which is at 560 naira. So for this filling station, petrol is being sold at 560 naira, and motorists say that the queue is pretty, apart from the effect of the queues that you've seen a couple of seconds ago, it's pretty easy for most of the motorists to get to access this filling station, because the filling station has tried to devise a means of ensuring that motorists that are on the queue get into the filling station. So some of them tell me that they've been on the queue for about 20 to 30 minutes, and that's why they are able to get fuel and petrol at this filling station. However, when we spoke with some of the motorists, they told me that they are not selling for kegs, owners of kegs. So even if you have a keg in your vehicle, they will not sell for you. So they are only selling into vehicles, and they are selling at 560 naira. Ibrahim.
Yeah, you actually answered the issue of the black marketers who definitely always come with kegs. But do you, by chance, see anyone who is selling black market around there? I know that has been outlawed, but you know, in different filling stations, we've seen them even on camera. I'm not sure whether you've been able to spot anyone around there. People patronizing them.
So what we've seen is that we're expecting that these queues will ease off in the coming days, because NNPCL has said over the weekend, because it's like the 6th week we've been seeing these queues at various filling stations. So while we've been seeing these queues in 6 weeks, it's not been this bad, you know, in the course of the week. In the course of the weeks, it's not been this bad. And so this particular weekend, it made it really conspicuous that there is a problem in the downstream sector. And a lot of people have raised issues about the downstream sector, the NNPCL, and all of the stakeholders should get things right, come to a round table and see how they can solve this so-called logistics issue that they've raised as the reason for this fuel scarcity, that they've raised at this while we're seeing queues at the various filling stations. So people are saying that why is there no communication? Why is there a communication gap between the NNPCL? Why is there problems with distribution? Why is there problem with logistics? Why is there no reserve, for situations like this where there are vessels problem or logistics problem, that Nigerians will have to go through this harrowing experience? For those who have cars, it's easy for them, it's easy for them to queue at filling stations. But for people without cars, right, that they have to go to bus stations and they have to engage commercial bus drivers, it's been really difficult because you see people stand at bus stop for hours just to get to their workplaces and to go about their business activities. And so it's been really harrowing, not just in Lagos, but across the country. So, but we're hoping that this will ease up in the course of the week. But hopefully, NNPC Health gets their act right with this logistics.
Absolutely. That is what Nigerians are actually looking forward to getting the information, as to when it's going to ease up. The TVC News senior correspondent, Sarah Yoko, thank you so much for that update. Thank you. Now, moving on to other stories, the federal government says it's committed to curbing unemployment, youth restiveness and poverty by equipping young persons with digital and entrepreneurial skills. National Coordinator of Innovation, Development and Effectiveness in the Acquisition of Skills Project, Blessing Ogo, said this during the flag-off ceremony of a digital skill training in Ibadan. Senior correspondent Olaide Oyewole reports.
The surging rate of unemployment has become worrisome and has been described by many as the root cause of youth restiveness in the country. To address this situation, the federal government, through the Ministry of Education, launched the Innovation, Development and Effectiveness in the Acquisition of Skills initiative, aimed at providing over 200,000 youths with the necessary skills and jobs. In Oyo State, the initiative has been replicated as 700 youths were equipped with digital skills and their training is now being flagged off.
The Federal Ministry of Education is very determined to sustain it and use it to develop skills for Nigerian youths, to make them become more employable and some of them become self-employed. The idea here is that through their employment, they will improve family income and also reduce poverty.
IDEAS project is not just about training. It's actually an intervention designed to improve the employability of Nigerian youths. So it has 4 components. There's training, there's certification, there's mentorship and internship. Our graduates today have been trained and they have gotten certified. They are paired with mentors already and they are already at different phases of their internship.
The problem faced by Nigerian youth is not just limited to unemployment. Challenges such as underemployment, limited educational opportunities, and health challenges are major setbacks. But with this development, they are expected to bring positive change to their immediate environment.
With individual skill, one can get to where one thinks one may not be able to get to. So instead of looking for quick money, in fact, they can get better money by exploring this opportunity than looking for quick money that we also hand to risking their lives unnecessarily.
So you'll be able to start a startup in cybersecurity and then be able to work with the government and everybody so as to reduce the rate of internet fraud and information theft.
During the ceremony, the beneficiaries also pitched their business ideas, which will enable them to earn a living. Olaide Oyewole, TVC News, Ibadan.
The health matters now. The Lagos University Teaching Hospital has partnered the University of Maryland School of Medicine, Baltimore, United States, on capacity building, research and treatment of non-communicable diseases. The institution says the aim of the partnership is to increase the survival rate of patients battling with cancer, hypertension, heart diseases, chronic lungs illness, cardiovascular diseases, among others. The Dean, University of Maryland School of Medicine, Professor Mark Gladwin, said the partnership also aims to improve the overall management of non-communicable diseases in Nigeria, adding that the collaboration will cut across health institutions, including LUTH, Lagos College of Medicine, and Institute of Human Virology in the country. The Chief Medical Director of LUTH, Professor Wasiu Adeyemo, believes that the partnership would open an opportunity for the hospital to develop capacity in many areas and thereby increase the chances of sustaining medical professionals in the country.
So it's a natural partnership that we have together, especially considering that the University of Maryland has been in Nigeria for 25 years, working together to control HIV through the Institute for Human Virology. So what we're hoping to do together now is extend and grow this partnership between LUTH and between the University of Maryland School of Medicine. And we already have collaborations.
So over the next 10 years, our goal is to partner with the government institutions, both public and private, to see how we can bring our expertise in country and also learn from people on ground in terms of what are the main challenges that we can work together to address for the society.
The federal government is spending a lot of money in putting infrastructure in place. So, and you know that we have a problem with people moving out of the country due to for economic reasons and other reasons. There's a need for us to develop new set of young people who are going to be empowered to do research and as well as for them to see the reason to stay in the country.
Now, outside Nigeria, the search for 6 persons who were missing after a yacht sank off the coast of Sicily in the early hours of Monday is now in its 3rd day. Rescue teams will attempt to enter the sleeping cabin of the ship after being hampered by debris blocking access. Divers are being helped by remote-controlled vehicles that can operate on the seabed for far longer than the rescuer themselves. Among the missing are British tech tycoon Mike Lynch and his 18-year-old daughter Hannah. 4 others are missing: Morgan Stanley International Chairman Jonathan Bloomer, his wife Judy Bloomer, lawyer Chris Mavilo, and his wife Neda Mavilo.
I've spoken to, I think, most of the British survivors of this terrible incident. Those are private conversations, but obviously, it goes without saying, this is an absolutely heartbreaking, terrible situation. We'll do everything we can to help on the practical side, on things like documents and all those things that, are important, sadly, in a situation like this, where, as the Foreign Office and the British Embassy, we can, I hope, do our bit to help.
And with that, it's a wrap on TVC News.